a huge craze at the moment for vampire productions, you know, TV, movies. Why do you think that is?
Thank you, Twilight.
Yeah? But these books were written years before Twilight series.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. But it's sort of unbelievable, as everyone here knows. I think I'm the only person here who probably hasn't. No, you haven't seen Twilight either.
Oh, I saw parts of the beginning. I had to.
The unbelievable success of those movies sort of paved the way, or the freeway, for us to have this job.
But they've always, you know, I mean, vampires have been, you know, I mean, for me, I remember Interview with the Vampire, watching that, you know, when I was just so, it was always so impactful. Yeah, oh yeah, it's so great. And just Anne Rice, and the vampires have always been such a huge part of it.
Yeah.
Just, you know.
But this was the resurgence. This was like the big, major, mainstream, you know, resurgence. So we're in the right place at the right time. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's great. This show was hugely successful. The first episode went out. Wasn't it the highest rated show on the channel?
Yeah.
And you've got Gossip Girl and on the same channel.
Yeah. Yeah. We're doing well. But the main thing is, though, seriously, in all seriousness, not to be too serious, I get my lessons from Paul. This show, like we talked about earlier, the show, we're so unbelievably proud of this show by virtue of the fact that all of the, sort of like, for some reason the stars all lined up together to make this show possible, from the writing aspect, from the photography aspect, and then the performance level. Every actor is sort of bringing their A game every day, every take, and that transfers over onto the film. And so
it really is kind of a rare
onto film. Yeah, and it's a rare little piece, and you know, because we all can say like this is essentially a teen vampire soap. However, you know, some of the best storytelling is being done on the small screen and not the big one, and this is definitely not an anomaly to that school of thought. So I hope you guys like it as much as we do. I hope you don't download it illegally anymore.
You're going to have 22 episodes, the first series, aren't you? Is this a month off? Is this like hiatus or something?
Yeah, they're a little Christmas.
Yeah, we're here. That's why.
Yeah.
Good to shoot.
So even though you're not filming, you're still working on the show, effectively.
This doesn't work.
Could be worse.
We're in London.
Yeah, London.
Wonderful.
This is, let's talk about you guys then. If we start down here with you at the end here, obviously, Paul, let's just discuss about where you've come from, because you've done a lot of TV before, haven't you?
Yeah. I've been really, you know, acting for like 9-10 years, and I've done so many pilots, which is, I don't know if you pilots, I don't know if it's a familiar term, but I've done all these like shows that have never really gone anywhere, and it's I've literally been waiting like 9 years basically of doing stuff that for something like this to occur, you know, and it's just it's amazing.
Every actor waits for the break.
I mean, for me it's like, you know, it's like you're waiting for a break and you don't want to get publicly, whatever. It's not even so much that. It's I've been waiting to find a role that I fell in love with.
Rather you could sink your teeth into?
That I can sink my teeth into. Bite my but I fell in love with Stephanie from the moment I read this pilot script, and I had to work hard to get the part, but it really was worth it, and just feel really blessed and lucky.
And are there a series of auditions when you first go for these roles?
Oh yeah.
This one was not easy. Every single one of us here will tell you that the process in which to book a television show is pretty extensive. This one in particular, just because of its quality level and sort of how much hype was behind it and this whole vampire genre being so hot right now, we worked hard. It was like 10 days of hell to get this show.
It's a process. You start with the first audition, then you have to meet with the director, then you have to meet the producers, then you have to meet with the studio, and then the network, and then you have to meet, pair all of us together to see good chemistry.
You may have to do that again and over again.
It's a long process.
It's a long process.
It's a lot of it.
You have to convince a lot of people.
Well, you obviously convinced them all very well, because you all got the roles, and we're really pleased, because you're brilliant in the series, aren't you?
Thank you.
Thank you.
You've done a lot of television as well, haven't you, Nina?
I've done a fair bit,
I can't believe you're only 20 as well.
Isn't that crazy?
Incredible. You've done tons of television and movies as well.
It's good. I've been really lucky. I've only been in the business for 4 or 5 years now, but in that time I've done quite a lot, and I was on another series called Degrassi, and this is my first American TV show. So
it's really exciting.
Yeah, and I'm really lucky too, because you guys will see later. It's not until probably halfway through, but I get to play 2 characters. I get to play Elena, who's like the good girl, and then Catherine, who's the woman that they had fallen in love with 150 years ago.
Kind of taught Damon all of his tricks.
She taught him everything. She's basically like a crazy psycho narcissistic
Female version of Damon.
Does this mean that you have love scenes with both guys?
Both of us, sometimes in the same day. Yeah, in the same set.
Well, that must
it's really, really hard.
Poor girl. Bummer.
You know, but it's part of the job, so I have to do it.
Yeah.
I can imagine it would probably be quite enjoyable. That's just me. But, there we go.
I hear Paul's a better kisser than I am, though.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh, well.
I don't kiss and tell.
I'll practice. Yeah.
Nina, what would you say on that front?
I don't kiss and tell.
And Ian, we've seen you on TV a lot as well, and Lost as well.
Happens, I guess.
How's filming on this year compared to being in Hawaii?
You know what's crazy? They're both equally, I've said this over and over again, Lost was definitely the most profound and wonderful experience I had ever had in my life. And this one equals that. The group of people that we have, the quality of the work, and the success of the show all sort of parallel that feeling of Lost. So that's a heavy statement, and I'm really happy to say it.
Well, I think what we should do now is listen to the questions after you guys. Does anyone have a question? Someone. Like, okay, down the end there, what would you like to ask? Oh, let's get a microphone so we can hear you.
For each of you, what was your kind of inspiration behind each of your roles? So how did you create your character?
Oh, I guess it's going to go back down this way now. To be honest with you, Damon was such a sort of kooky, funny guy. The second I got this role, I called Josh Holloway, Sawyer from Lost, and said, I hate to tell you this, man, but the character I just got is basically the 23-year-old non-redneck version of you. And I'm going to go with it. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. So that was, that's a lot of Damon.
It's brilliant to see that you can have really good fun because he's quite funny as well. Even though he can be quite nasty and evil, he's kind of sexy and funny at the same time.
That's what's so fun about it. He's a crazy bastard, yeah.
In terms of Elena, I don't know. There's a lot of me in Elena. I'm just a girl who tries to deal with day to day, and thankfully, I don't have the same history, and I have both my parents, and everything's all good. But she's gone through a lot of tragedy, and so it's just, I couldn't say exactly who the inspiration is. It's just sort of been a lot of me. And then when it comes to Catherine, everybody has a little bit of a crazy, bad, and evil part of themselves, and I just like to...
I'll walk you through that.
Yeah, I take a lot from him.
Just hang out with Ian one night.
Basically.
For me, we had the books, so I read the books, and so obviously tried to base a lot of Stefan. And then Stefan is an outsider, so for me, without getting deep and lame, I just kind of thought back to my childhood and life, and thought when I felt like an outsider, and when I felt kind of like the oddball, and thought about high school and how I went to 3 different high schools and all these like odd moments growing up, and I kind of was able to draw from that a little bit. So to myself, that's not a stat. I'm not like feeling sorry for myself. No. You know what I mean? It was like, I'm trying to just make the friend. I'm still a cool guy.
Why did you keep changing school?
I just, you know, but yeah, I got kicked out. I was kind of a troublemaker. I wasn't like some low-key guy who got picked on. I was a troublemaker with the teachers, so.